what's a rapper's favorite type of sauce?
I don't know.
Marinara. Something like that. It was something like that. It was something like
Marinara. Dude, that was awesome.
I forget what he said.
Give me a bump on that one, brother. That one
I stole that.
Marinara.
So he had a couple, like it was like a build up to what he had. So
oh, that is so funny and classic, dude. All right, so is this like for real?
We pausing
for real? Go. Well, no, there's no test runs. This is well, because like technically producer Eric, I like adding all this fun stuff on the beginning. Not all of it, maybe, but some of it. Just okay. So, all right, official start.
20-second pause.
Hello. This is Foster and Friends. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, everyone. This is Foster and Friends. My name is Brent Foster. I'm the host of the show, obviously. And I am here with one of my really good friends, Derek Gillam. Welcome, Derek, to the show, bro.
Hey, glad to be here. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do in today's session is find out more about Derek and his story. And we're going to laugh a little bit. We are going to get serious and talk about real life stuff. But we're also just going to have lots of fun over the next 30 to 40 minutes, 50 minutes, maybe 1 hour if we decide to include just the craziness that just happened. Yeah, because things get wild and crazy in here and in the house. And I'm just so blessed to have this brother here. I'll just start out by saying that I love you, man, and I really appreciate you, dude. There's something that Derek will talk about a little bit, but DADCAMP, I was able to take my daughter to DADCAMP down at Flat Rock in Indiana, and it was such an amazing time. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because I got to see Derek in action, man. And there's this thing that all you dads out there got to do. You got to sign up for DADCAMP, number one, and I'll reiterate this later, but you straight up got to do guerrilla wars with your kid. Got to do, and then against other people and their kids. Yeah. And boo tall people is something that I get a lot now. My daughter's like, boo tall people. Yeah. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, great. That means you can check it out later, but we'll dive into it. But I just want to start out by saying how awesome Derek is. I got to meet him at the first time I actually met Derek was at a leadership meeting prior to a Fight Club round earlier this year, where you came in 20 minutes late, and you're like, "Oh yeah," and we just waited for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And I got to sit at the same table as him, and ever since then, I've grown to love this dude. He's an authentic, real, honest guy, and he's got a sense of humor. So
I think so.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. But for those of you who don't know Derek, I'll introduce him this way. He wrote up some stuff. I wrote up some stuff. I actually printed his LinkedIn.
Oh, good.
So then I go, let's see. Professionally, let's see here. Let's start back on his LinkedIn page, which is hilarious. You can learn a lot about people when you pull up their LinkedIn and print it off. And so stuff you maybe didn't know. And so Indiana University, Bloomington, a BA, Criminal Justice and Corrections.
Go Hoosiers, yes.
What?
Yeah, interesting story there.
Really?
For sure.
How in the world?
Yeah, it started out, I was in an accounting major, and so I was wanting to go to IU, the Kelley School of Business, really prestigious in Indiana, and I actually moved from Lafayette, where Purdue is located, and I saw the light, so I had to move to Bloomington, and so I moved to Bloomington and started out in an accounting major, and through a series of unfortunate events or fortunate events, I'd say now, as I look back on it, got saved in college, and it really changed my heart from this selfish nature of wanting to just be an accountant at a big firm and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And in back in the day, a Jaguar was my favorite car. And
Jaguar or Jaguar?
Yeah, you said it much more.
I said Jaguar.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I say it the hillbilly style, Jaguar. I just wanted to drive a white Jaguar. And so that's what I said in my yearbook. You know, they put your picture, you can give a quote. And I wanted to be an accountant driving a big, fancy white Jaguar. And but then I got saved, and that really just changed my heart.
Yeah.
To then wanting to just help others, help people. And so I diverted my studies to criminal justice, and it's been a good journey ever since. And while I'm not in the criminal justice field any longer.
Or system.
Yeah. I'm glad you printed my LinkedIn profile versus my criminal file.
Your My Case. I didn't go onto My Case to check you out.
Thank goodness, yes. So you might have found something here or there.
A traffic ticket.
Don't worry, it's expunged, right? It's past the statute of limitations, so I'm all good.
Cool.
I don't think anybody's kicking down the door while we're here today.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. So it's business and then criminal justice, and kind of jumped right out of college and was a probation officer. Then went
at the Marion community, went
to community corrections then as well, and then went through the sheriff's academy here in Marion County.
Dude,
and,
awesome.
Stayed with the county for 7 years, and then made a jump to the private business world.
Yep.
And connected with my good friend Jeff Williams and joined his company. And kind of did a good 10-year stretch there.
Yep.
Got called to DADCAMP.
Yep.
Did a good stretch there. Then now I'm back in the business world at my current company, Spry.
Spry.
Yeah.
DADCAMP. Spry. That is awesome, man. There's some stuff in there I did not know. There's one thing you missed, though. It says Play Ball Indiana as a baseball coach.
Yeah.
And you're currently a baseball coach for your sons, right?
I am.
How's that going?
It's good. Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
World Series champs, state champs, undefeated. My kids are 12 and 10, and they're getting drafted already. So.
Oh man, they're getting cross checkers calling them right now. They're like, man, we got to watch those Gillam boys.
That's right. They're on some.
What positions do they play?
Somewhere. Oh, shortstop.
Shorts. Well,
yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Short.
that's
Pitch,
no, it is fun. I've had a good. I had to hang up my playing days. I had 2 fractures in my vertebrae. In high school. Yeah, high school. So. I was a wrestler as well, but I hung up my cleats because of my injuries.
And your Speedo or your onesie?
Not a onesie or a Speedo, a singlet. They call it a singlet.
Yeah. A singlet.
That's good.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
There's the comic relief. I'm sorry.
Let's not even talk about singlets or Speedos or onesies.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get back to coaching. So, as soon as I got done with college, I started coaching at a high school here in Indiana, and I've coached at a couple different high schools through the time. But now that my boys have grown up and I'm able to coach them, I'm doing that now. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet it is. I'm a baseball guy too. I love the game, love the sport, and and I don't have sons, so I'm gonna live through you and Zap and a bunch of other dudes on the baseball thing. So if it's really hard for when baseball's on and I want to watch baseball, talk baseball. I can't.
Well,
in my house, I need to be adopted.
If you want some baseball in your life,
how do I do that?
I'm actually looking for one more assistant coach. So
I think Zap is too. And
I wish I could get Zap to work with me. Yeah. Maybe not. There'll be a time I think we work together.
Yeah. So I've told if it works out with the schedule, then I'll do it.
You're in.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take time away from the girls to do that a whole lot. I'll do a little.
Bring them.
I could bring them.
Yeah.
All right. Then they can be part of the team hitting balls and stuff, throwing.
Yeah, we'll make some baseball players out of them.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. That's a deal.
How would you feel though? How would you feel? I know your relationship with Zap, but how would you feel, beating him, competing against him, and at the end of the game you have to shake his hand and say, "We got you."
It would be an honor.
Amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah. Just think about that feeling. All right?
Y'all can't see it, but he's off camera, just shaking his head, probably throwing stuff, Probably going, man, I'm leaving.
Yes.
No. Oh, yeah. And then what he'll do is he'll pay me more because I'm going to broker myself out here. He'll pay me more, and then I'll get to shake your hand at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a good team.
Yeah.
So you might be on the winning side if you join his team.
We'll see.
So.
We'll see.
All right.
No, that sounds awesome. So something here, 3 words that describe Derek are faith, family, friend. 3 F's.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Married 16 years. What's your wife's name?
Holly.
Holly.
She always says Holly with a Y.
Holly with a Y.
Yes.
Clarification statement.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, 2 sons.
2 sons.
Baseball fanatic and lover of the outdoors. So outdoors.
Yeah.
Tell me all about it. What do you like outdoors wise, man?
Shoot, yeah. My first probably. I mean, I've always grown up outside. Always been outside, and there was a time when I was a kid that I'd just be outside, shirt off, running all summer long, etc. And I would just get the kind of the deepest, darkest tan. So it was just I've had that type of olive skin from my family, and so I've always been outside. But one of the markers that really kind of probably sunk this idea in was when I was a teenager, about 15. My stepdad actually took me out west. We went to Wyoming, and we backpacked. We parked. We had everything we needed.
Yep.
We jumped in the mountains for 8 days and trekked through and climbed some peaks. And got packed up every night. Moved to the next spot we were going to camp, and just this backpacking journey through the mountains at 15, and just that whole trip, I was just like, man, this is God's. I'm from Indiana. I'm born and raised in Indiana.
Right.
It's flat, and while there's the change of seasons, you get to experience all 4 seasons here, and I do appreciate that. But just kind of seeing the beauty that's out there and just outdoor, I was like, all right, I'm locked in, and this is I want more of this. So,
amen, dude. Yeah. And so on that trip, I bet that's a special moment to be with your dad doing that in the mountains, and some things that you learn about yourself and about him. Probably some opportunities to have some dialogue.
Yeah, it was good. It was just me and him, and I've got the picture. We climbed this one mountain, Mount Fremont, and I still have that picture of that mountaintop just in a frame at my office. So and that was a lot of years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot like life. Peaks and valleys, right?
Yep.
You've got celebrations and trials and difficulties. Great joy in life. So this is something that I know about Derek too, and what drives him. Make people when people make the connection of God interacting in their daily lives.
Yeah.
When you see God working in and through the lives of guys, and they're able to share life and stuff like that. Well,
and then I feel like I recognize it, but when an individual makes that connection that this is God, like this is God in my life, or this is God in their life, like just to see God in action day to day is when I can see somebody else make that connection. It's just like there's nothing more joyous to me than to see somebody else make that connection and have their eyes opened up or even just more focused on Jesus.
Amen, dude. That I share that same sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being born and raised in Oregon and living out in California, when you get out in nature too, when you talk about nature, I just love nature. Being outside in the Cascade Mountain Range or hiking into a mountain lake or experiencing the river or the ocean and all that stuff is so big and so majestic and so massive that you're like, there has to be a creator to all of this.
Yeah.
It's not just, we just came out, like we were formed out of thin air and it just is karma and it just works out that we evolved from ice crystals or something. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, really think about it. Look at the cosmos and stuff like that and put it in perspective. But there's probably, to your point, nothing greater than seeing somebody see Jesus, see God, and have their lives changed and have them pivot and then communicate that experience back to you later, even if you were just one little moment along the way, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything that pops out to you in experience of that?
I mean, yeah. I
even
think,
for yourself, like you mentioned, you came to Christ back in
share,
college.
Yeah,
I want to hear that.
Those things,
yeah.
And so
go ahead.
Now, though, I'd say we've done. I did a men's retreat. It was Extreme Character Challenge. It's a XCC through 4M. It's a men's ministry, and we did kind of a backpacking trip down to the Red River Gorge in Kentucky. And one of the things, I always try, anytime I'm doing something, I always try to, what is my takeaway? Anytime I go to try to grow in some way, what is my takeaway? Sure, there's a lot of things that you may experience and learn and be opened up to, but I always try to come away with something tangible that hey, this can impact my life if I just make this one change or two. Sometimes I'll go to even 3, but the 2 changes that come out of my XCC weekend, one was I've got to get outside. That's when I can connect the most with God and just be in nature and just be still and be quiet and be listening and just so that's why I also love the outdoors, because I love just spending that time and connecting with God. But yeah, I've made that connection because prior to getting saved, in college, I would have said I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
You would have asked me, even from elementary, middle, high school, and moving into college, I would have said that. And I don't know if I was just more of a defiant type of kid. Well, you're not going to tell me what to do, or, I noticed a flag is behind me. And I remember in elementary school, I wouldn't say the Pledge of Allegiance because it said one nation under God. And I'm like, I'm not saying that because I don't even believe in God. So I just kind of took this defiant type of
Kaepernick.
I know. And,
you were what, way before him.
I know. Yeah. He took a page out of my playbook. So, but then in college, right?
Yeah.
So I'm this atheist, and I'm in college, and my life is not heading in a direction. It was heading in a direction, but I'd say the wrong direction.
Right.
And there was just some unique times where God really revealed Himself to me in a real way. And one of those is at the time when I'm probably at my darkest, right? It's probably my darkest time in life. I know I need help.
Yeah.
I know this just internally, instinctively, this isn't who I want to be. This isn't the path that I want to keep taking. And it's not like I called out to God. I didn't go seek God to pull me out of that. I wasn't a believer at that point. So I went, and I knew this lady that could help me. She was my counselor. I had maybe a rough not a rough childhood, but just some mental issues that I had to deal with as I was growing up. My parents being divorced and living with my mom, and just there was probably a lot there that I had never known my parents to be married, but I knew she could help me. She had helped me kind of get me on track when I was a kid. So now I'm about 20 years old in college. I'm supposed to be down at IU studying.
Yeah.
The semester started in August, right? It's probably September, October. I'm in Indianapolis partying at friend's house. I'm not even in Bloomington, in my apartment that my parents are paying for.
Yeah.
Right. So my life I'm in Indianapolis, sleeping on a buddy's couch, partying, and
not where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the darkest place I could be.
Yeah.
And I just reached that point where I needed help. So I left my buddy's house.
Yeah.
I walked to her office. I walked probably 7 hours that day to get to her office. I didn't want anybody to help me. It was just this journey I had to go on to get out of this darkness.
Wow.
So I go there, I knock on her door.
Wow.
She's not there.
Yeah.
Devastated.
I bet.
I just did all of this. I'm trying to get help.
7 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just walk.
I wanted to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah.
7 hours.
I woke up, started walking to her office, made it there in the afternoon. She's not there.
Good Lord.
So I end up knocking, not there. I end up calling my buddies. Hey, I need picked up.
Yeah.
Then they got to drive and go get me.
Yeah.
So they drive and get me, and then that night, stay at their house again that night. And while I was there, I left a note on her door.
Okay.
And just said, hey, it's Derek Gillam. That's my name. And please give me a call. I need help. And I just stuck it there.
Man.
That's the next day.
Yeah.
The next day, I'm sitting at my buddy's house, and I'm kind of waiting on her to call me. And I just remember almost being still. And I'm not calling out to God at this point, right? I'm not even a believer in God at this point. But I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm thinking, man, I just need her to call.
Yeah.
I just need her to call. And so kind of the day's going, and I got still, and that thought crossed my mind, man, I just need her to call. And not a second later, the phone rings. And so I'm thinking, like, how does this thought drop into my head? Like, I just need her to call. And immediately, I'm literally saying immediately, the phone rings.
Yeah.
That's not coincidence.
No.
There's something around that just can't be, like.
It's not coincidence. Yeah. For sure.
So that was one of the moments where I'm like, all right. That was interesting.
Doesn't always happen, but like you walked 7 hours. It didn't happen when you thought it would, but then it happened in the 11th hour when you weren't expecting it necessarily, but then it hits you, and there's this call.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens?
Well, so then she says, hey.
She's like, hey, see ya.
No. She actually, that was the day where my path changed to get back on track to what I needed to be. So I took that semester off of school, got kind of cleaned up, and then re-enrolled back in school that next January semester. But that moment was just like something unique about that. Like, man, there's something bigger that just happened there than what I believe in. Like, it's not, I didn't control it. I didn't do it. The universe itself wouldn't kind of do something like that. So it was really, to me, and as I reflect on it now, that was God just showing me, hey, I'm real. Yeah. Let me show you some cool things I can do. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the moments and markers of my life where God really started to show me, hey, I'm real.
I'm real, and I'm here, and I know about you, and I care about you. And like what I hear when I hear this story is there's a process leading up to that moment too. It's not like he wasn't in the process leading up to the moment.
For sure.
Right? It happened, and he actually was in all of it.
Yeah.
Even in the partying, he was kind of like, well, dude, I got to let you get to that rock bottom moment.
So obviously I think, he knows the path, and he knows how he's going to show me, how he's going to kind of open my eyes, unharden my heart, whatever you want to say, to really let him in and experience him. And so he did that, and I'm like, So over that next couple of months, I just start stewing on that and camping on that, and then becoming saved right after that. So
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That's
good.
So like, you love nature and stuff, and I can't help but just ask the obvious question.
Sure.
This is an obvious question. Everybody who...
Why do I smell this bad?
Yeah, no. Oh. I wish I would have worn my my perfect flannel from whatever the company is that does the perfect.
Yes.
But the beard.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about the beard a little bit.
Yours is going well so far.
Dude, it's
yours.
going all right. I mean, I don't know. I had someone call me, dude, you have a ginger beard. I'm like, am I supposed to be offended by that?
No, it's a compliment.
It's like red and brown.
Red beard.
It's a red beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy that has a nice
pale skin red beard. I don't know. Maybe that should be my thing. It's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a t-shirt.
That's another t-shirt. So the beard.
Yeah. You raised some money too. I want you to talk all about that a little bit.
Yeah, because
it's fun.
That'd be great.
You have the best beard, in my opinion. If I were judging you in a beard competition, I'd be like Derek.
I did do a Fight Club beard competition one time, and I got second place.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I got a sleeve of golf balls. It was amazing. I wanted to be the champ, but there was another guy with another fantastic.
He got a shield, I'm sure.
He got something. But it was rigged. They already knew.
They already knew.
Yeah, they knew.
Okay.
So but anyway, so I would normally grow a winter beard out.
Right. That's me.
And so November 1st, no shave November. I'd hit November 1st until the first day of spring. Then I'd cut my beard off because then it's springtime and winter's over.
Right.
And so I got to that no shave November. I started it. And my first kind of big beard was probably 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. I got to the first day of spring, and I didn't want to cut it off. I wanted to get the yeard. Have you heard that?
No.
Yeah.
It's a thing? The yeard.
The yeard, where you grow your beard out for a year without cutting it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, that sounds like a cool idea. I like my beard.
They need that on the Apple Watch.
Like
as a medallion you get or something.
Yes, yeah. How many days?
How many days? Yeah, go. So, sorry, I didn't mean it.
All good. So I got to the year. So I was like, oh, well, this summer I'm not cutting it. So I got to the year. Well, then it's November 1st again. Well, I can't cut my beard off. It's the winter now. Mm-hmm. I can't shave in November. So I went through it again till the springtime.
Uh-huh.
Well, then I'm like, let me get I don't know what they call it. I think there is I forget the term. There is
a deered? I don't know.
A 2-year beard. I think there is a term. There's a double year. I don't know what it is. But I was like, well, I'm just going to do that again.
Right.
And so I went ahead and did that.
You did.
2 years then.
Jeez, dude.
And then
that's crazy.
That winter approaches. I can't cut my beard off through the winter. It's cold. And so kept it till the spring.
Yeah.
But then, not then, but kind of this whole time, it's this tension, not a negative tension, but with my wife.
Right.
She would like your beard, like.
And my wife would like me to shave it and go down to like scruff. Can you do scruff?
She would like that too,
or something. Yeah.
But she's okay with me having the winter beard.
My daughters. My daughters this morning because the subject came up, and my wife says, well, I would like for you to look this way. And then my daughters are like, no, they want me to keep it.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, you lost.
You told the daughters to speak louder.
Yeah. No, I looked at them and they're just like, no, keep it. Don't shave it.
I know. The time I did cut my first long beard off, my sons go, Dad, you look better with the beard. So I won their hearts over.
You did.
I still haven't won my wife's over yet.
Holly's heart.
So 2 years, I get to 2 years, and I roll through the winter, and then she would take pictures of the fam, and she would post them on Facebook or social media, and a lot of the comments would roll in, and all the comments are, "You still let him have that beard? Why are you letting him have that beard? Man, that beard's long. Man," all these just kind of negative comments about my beard.
Yeah.
And so they're feeding into her feeling about it, like this negativity about the beard. And I just kind of got, all right, well, you tell whoever's commenting that they want this beard gone, put their money where their mouth is.
Nice. I like that.
So I had this idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a fundraiser to cut my beard off.
Okay.
And so I thought, $1,000, I can raise $1,000 and I'll cut my beard off. But then I was like, man, $1,000 is pretty easy. I felt like it was at the time. I was like, I could probably get some people to come up with $1,000 pretty easy. So then I set the goal at $10,000, and I just said, if I raise $10,000, I'm gonna cut this beard off.
Holy smokes!
So that was like, hey, God's gonna have to show up to get $10,000.
Yeah, because that's a stretch goal.
Yes, exactly. That's why I did it. I was like, 1,000. All right, God, if my wife wants this bad enough, or God, you want this to happen, let's raise $10,000 for charity.
Yeah.
And so my wife was ready to write a $10,000 check that day. Well, thank goodness
she's like, hey, honey, we have $10,000 in our bank account right now, I think. And
thank goodness I do the finances, and she wasn't able to write that check. But there is a funny little story here at the end. So decided to do a GoFundMe page. I've been building homes in the Dominican every year, and this will actually be my 11th year in a row going to build a home for ministry.
Yeah, and I want to hear a lot about that too.
Yeah, all the money decided to go to that ministry. So got a link. People donated, and I just kind of
so
made
you
some
raised
fun.
it.
Yeah, did some fun about it too.
Yeah,
and said whoever is the largest donor.
Yeah.
Gets to be the person to cut my beard off.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just kind of this competing challenge.
Awesome. So and they did. And how much did they cut off?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I went.
You went from
this
Gandalf to
Razor
to nothing. Oh my gosh.
To nothing.
And then you went down and got a headshot.
Yes.
So you could, then you.
Yeah, you saw. Yes, yeah. That's I
saw that
two
one
professional headshots.
I'm like, who is that guy?
Yes. One with the beard and one without the beard. So I've walked into meetings before. I'll meet a new person at a coffee shop or something to connect, and I can just tell they're looking for me, and they don't know who I am because my LinkedIn profile is clean shave.
It's a clean shave.
So anyway, so raised, got to actually about $13,500.
The stretch goal.
Went above.
Dude, wow.
I kind of had to. I didn't have to shut it up, but I shut it off. I'm like, I'm over 10,000.
Wow.
My wife wants me to cut it off. I had people competing. Then I had the first guy. He donated $500
because he really wanted to be the one to do it.
He was going to be the one.
Oh my.
But then I had a group of guys band together, and they gave $1,000.
No.
And then he's like, wait, I'm not losing this bet.
Uh-oh.
And so he donated another $1,000. So he was at $1,500. So just between kind of two people, that was $2,500 of just my amount.
Oh my gosh.
But really, I just went through all my contacts in my phone and just said, hey, here's this link. I'm doing this for charity.
Yeah.
Could you contribute? And ended up, getting over $13,000. Went to his house. He cut it off and was clean-faced again just until that next November 1st.
Right.
And since that November 1st, I've started this beard.
Yes.
I only did one summer without the beard.
Right.
And so I started it again. And then kind of during that journey, I went to work at DADCAMP.
Yes.
And then I realized, man, I figure I got one more shot at raising some funds.
Yeah.
I can't just grow a beard, cut it off, keep asking people for fundraise. So I figure I got one more shot.
Yeah. This takes time.
Yeah. And so I'm going to go. Now it's No Shave November, so I certainly can't cut it right now.
Right.
So I'm going to go one more winter and then start a fundraiser next spring.
Yes.
And my goal now, God showed up from $10,000 goal to $13,000. Now my goal is $50,000.
$50,000. And all the proceeds go to
DADCAMP. Yeah. It's going to
awesome.
Yeah. So.
And what a wonderful nonprofit charity.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly have a heart for DADCAMP. And this tension, between my wife and like, do I love and honor her and just cut it off?
Yeah.
I feel that tension.
Yeah.
Or does she finally accept me for who I am and I get to keep my beard? It's just fun tug of war. And I think I got one more shot at raising some money, and then I'm sure I probably won't have such a gnarly beard again. Just the winter beard.
Just the winter beard, which is, I love this story. So I almost want to be like, all of you out there that hear this, join the beard club. I don't know if there's a club to grow your beard and then donate it for charity. Is there anything like that?
But I don't know. I was going to do that. Within the DADCAMP community, there's a lot of dads.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of beards.
There are,
so
I wanted Fight Club too.
Yes.
That community. It's like, do you have to have a beard to be in Fight Club? That's actually been asked. No, you don't. But
I want to pass the baton. Hey, I'm done. This is my... How about you now grow a beard and do it? This worked for me. I think this could work for you. Almost pass this set of scissors, shears, I don't know, something like pass the baton to challenge the next guy, like Ice Bucket Challenge. Hey, I'm going to, now you have to do it.
Right.
And you raise $50,000 for whatever charity, 10 or 50, whatever it comes on your heart, but you do that for your charity of choice and grow it out. This is another at least 2 years that I've grown this one.
Yeah.
And so grow your beard out. Don't cut it.
Right.
Raise some money, some funds to charity.
So two things. I want to help with strategy with that. So we get guys layering the years. So every year we have somebody that's cutting.
Yeah.
And so
there you go.
You just go for like 20, 30 years until we're old men and we're just rotating.
There's some nonprofit out there. There's probably no better fundraising strategy than cutting beards off. So.
Right. Yeah. And I don't have hair, so I can't grow it from the top down. I got to go,
Gravity certainly pulled all the hair to your chin.
That's right. Do you use any beard oil? I've got.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
Every day.
How much? Just a little? A dollop? Is it a dollop?
If that's how you would measure it.
Or is it
eyedropper?
Eyedropper.
Yeah, with I just one pinch in my hand.
Love it.
And then I wash it. I saw this guy. I went and served in New York City. I braided it once.
You braid it?
I wash it about one time a week. And I braid it. I braided it just one time.
Yeah.
One of my buddy's daughters braided. It was at DADCAMP. Yeah. It was at your DADCAMP.
It was.
My buddy Jeremy, his daughter was there, and she braided it.
She braided it. Yeah.
So
that was
the only time I braided it. I don't know. I asked this guy. I saw he was an amazing. We were working in this homeless shelter in New York City, and this guy walks in, and he was homeless at the time, and he just had this amazing beard, and I just went up and talked to him like, man, how is your beard so awesome?
Yeah.
He goes, I don't wash it. I let my own skin, my own oils take care of it, and it was amazing.
And it smelled good?
I didn't smell it, but it's it looked good. It looked good.
Because if I eat barbecue
that's the only thing I don't like. I was growing my mustache out too.
Yeah.
But
Raleigh finger style, right?
My hairline.
Producer Eric has got, Go ahead.
My hairline kind of, I was putting wax and kind of pushing my mustache out, combing it, parting it, but my hairline always kind of forced it back into the middle. So that's the only thing I didn't love about my beard is just getting food in it. And so there's probably some birds nesting somewhere, some bugs,
squirrel,
but yeah,
squirrel in there.
Just getting food in it.
Yeah.
And so I actually trim my lip line.
Right.
So,
same here, because I don't want it like going over my lip line.
Yeah,
that's really annoying.
Yeah,
it's
so,
kind of crazy. So we're going to talk a little bit about DADCAMP, but before we do, in the spirit of DADCAMP, I like to roll in with some dad jokes because you and I tend to just be weird, just silly and fun. And so why don't you start with your dad joke, and then we'll go to my dad joke, and we'll go back and forth for a little bit.
Yeah, so tonight I'm going to this restaurant, but I went to this other restaurant the other day, and I walked in, and the hostess said, "Hey, do you have any reservations?" And I said, "Nah, I'm pretty sure I want to eat here."
I love it, man.
Wait, because then the server, after my meal was done, the server comes over and he goes, "Hey, do you want a box for your leftovers?"
Right.
I said, "No, but I'll wrestle you for them."
That's
that one. Those are bad. Those are dad jokes.
I love them though, man.
Those are dad jokes. They bring a smile to somebody's face.
Hey, my daughter wanted me to say this one because she dropped this one at dad camp on the mic in front of everybody. She goes, "So why does a golfer wear 2 pairs of socks?"
I know this one. Why though?
Why? Because in case he gets a hole in one.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
That's right.
That's a good one.
That's it. I mean, it's good. I go,
dad joke.
Andy Babes, way to go.
And when your kids are telling dad jokes, then you know you've made it.
Oh yeah, you've achieved something.
Yes.
Something like you've made it to the precipice of dadhood.
Just a reminder, though. Really, though.
Dadum is dad.
Yeah, we say this a lot at Dad Camp. Your voice, you're on. Aside from dad jokes, a serious moment.
Yeah.
Your voice in the life of your child is the strongest, most powerful voice that they're going to hear. So when they hear you tell bad dad jokes and they repeat them, that just carries on that idea.
It does, and comic relief is like the best because the world is hard as it is. So I got to go with this one, Dad. Or how does a priest make holy water?
How does a priest make holy water?
He boils the hell out of it.
That's good. That is good. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
You see this priest back behind the curtain somewhere at the stove.
Like, stove, what are you doing? Well, I'm making holy water. He's boiling it, man.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how it's happened or how they proclaim it holy, but that's a good one.
Yeah. I love it. What about you? What you got?
I got it. What about this one? Maybe there's a listener out there.
Yeah.
What do you call a man with a rubber toe?
I don't know, man.
Roberto. Maybe there's a listener named Roberto.
Yeah,
I have a good
and
friend
he's
named
like,
Roberto.
"Oh, I like that one."
I mean, he's probably heard that one. I got one more.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Dad, I'm having an allergic reaction. We need to get to the hospital. Well, let's not make any rash decisions.
That's so good.
Yes, all right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're cheesy.
Communism. I see. I blow these, man. I blow them all the time.
That's all right.
Because that's the beauty of it. Communism jokes aren't funny.
They're not.
Unless everyone gets them.
Yes, that's a good one. You gotta.
Sorry, I got to do another one.
Okay.
Dad, if you had any superpower in the world, what would it be?
I don't know what.
China.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's all good.
I mean, there's some Instagram handles I was telling Eric about that. There's these 2 guys that usually are sitting on a dock on a lake with the backdrop of the mountains.
Nice.
And they're sitting there drinking coffee, and the whole goal is to crack the other guy up.
Okay.
And they keep going back and forth with jokes until one of them breaks a smile.
Yeah, good.
But they're like dead serious telling these jokes, and they're dry and they're amazing.
They're
funny.
funny.
Yeah. I forget which handle it is, but people on Instagram know
awesome.
those things.
Yeah, I love humor. I mean, whatever topic, there can be something fun about it. So
absolutely,
I love humor.
Can you share a little bit about Dad Camp?
Yeah. So Dad Camp is a ministry that has a vision to see a world where every family has a great dad. If you just pictured that world, if there was a world where every family had a great dad, how different the world would be.
Big time.
And so that's Dad Camp's mission, is to do what they can do.
Yep.
To try to achieve that.
Right.
And so they do it through an event weekend primarily, and this is happening all over the world. There's 12 different countries that they're in currently. There's 10 different states in the United States that they're operating in, but they do it through a Dad Camp weekend experience where a father would bring their school-age child, elementary, middle school, high school child with them to Dad Camp. And it's not a kid camp like, hey, let's take your kid to camp and give them 1,000 fun things to do.
Yeah.
That'll happen. The kids love it. It's probably their best weekend of the year as well for the activity, but probably for the time that they're actually spending with their father. but it's about the dads that weekend. It's not about the kids. It's, hey, we got the dad here. We're going to create some intentional times, some intentional moments. We're going to get some sessions in where we're teaching the fathers through whatever content's going to be delivered that year to grow strong fathers. And because we know, right? We know when a father is strong, a family is strong, and that's what DADCAMP's about.
I love it. And you have been a big part of that. You've been traveling around the world, frankly. Yeah. So what countries have you been in?
For DADCAMP, wow. The Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Kenya, Uganda, Congo. I think those are the ones I've personally been to, but DADCAMP's operating in a couple other countries as well.
Right.
Portugal, Northern Ireland, Paris. They were just in Paris. They've been in Honduras. They've been in Haiti. DADCAMP's just thriving.
Yeah. So here in Indiana, how many locations do they have?
So and
then when is it offered and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. It was started in Indiana back in 2006. One location just outside of Kokomo, Central Indiana.
Yep.
And now through growth, they're doing DADCAMPs in 10 different states, and there's 4 locations now in Indiana.
Wow.
And so
awesome.
They just wrapped up the season. It's kind of the camping season. It's getting into the winter here in Indiana, but there's 10 different states, so they're trying to kind of spread out their offerings throughout the year versus just kind of this fall camping type of season. Kind of that end of July through October is kind of the normal DADCAMP season, but now they're adding some spring events, and so dadcamp.org is the website. But there's a registration day that usually kicks off early spring, where you kind of log in and you go pick out your weekend, you sign up, and then registration. We used to have registration week, where we'd promo it as registration week, but now it's kind of registration day.
More like minutes.
Yes,
because you informed me that we could sign up because Indy's 7 now, and it's like. Yeah, you better make sure it opens at like, I don't know, what was it, 8 or 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern or something. And literally the best locations were gone in minutes. And so we're like, dang. Nora was on there like, man, I'm trying to get this. And we did Flat Rock, and it was like, I think the second time you guys have been at Flat Rock.
That was maybe the second weekend, but this year was our first year doing it at Flat Rock.
Okay. Yeah. And it was amazing and awesome. It was a great experience. I really got to connect with my daughter. So huge. A lot of prayer, a lot of worship, a lot of fun games and competition. You
mentioned Guerrilla Wars.
Wars, man. Fire pits, food.
What'd you think about
Bible study, worship, all that stuff?
You getting kind of fed as a father. What'd you
think?
Oh
my gosh. It was lights out amazing.
Good.
Amazing. It was an opportunity to be around other men and other kids, but also just to have that one-on-one time with my daughter. Some dads had 2 kids there or something, but you still get these moments and you're intentional, and just having that connection with my daughter Indy was just amazing. They grow up so fast, and I didn't want to miss it.
Sure.
And sometimes we get caught up with the busyness of life, and we don't stop and take the time. And that was a big reminder to keep the main thing, the first thing first, and your top priority should be obviously following God and following Jesus. But then you've got your wife, and then your kids, and works should be a little further back. So after that, it just drove home that.
Good.
Yeah, all the more. I've been taught that lesson many times, but I need to remind it. And it was really good to have, like, she still thinks about it. Well, I spent a bunch of money on your swag coming out of that. I mean, that's a smart strategy. All the merch and swag.
It is.
Stuff.
It is
cool.
Dude,
it's
cool
so
swag.
cool, and it's really good quality. So, coming out of that was amazing.
And it's a nonprofit. So all those proceeds of selling any gear is going to invest in dads that don't have the opportunity to maybe spend money to go to something like that. So you're just through the support of that, you're just supporting another dad to go get stronger, to go be the best dad he can be for those dads that maybe don't have the financial resources, whether it's here in the States or somewhere around the world. So
so you're paying it forward, and it builds on itself, and I love that force of good.
Yeah.
And so, it was amazing, man. It was amazing, and we'll do it again. I'm like, well, we're going to do that, and we're going to do Fight Club, so those
are your things.
That's right. Those are the things. And those that don't know, Derek and I co-lead in Fight Club rounds in Carmel and at Northview Carmel campus. So we're almost towards the end of that, and it's been amazing. We went from 6 dudes to 24 really quickly, and we hope to continue to grow it and see that light bulb go on as far as faith and it's all like Fight Club and DADCAMP are kind of interconnected, interrelated in many ways because we got to change the hearts and minds of men, get them called up to something more than a lot of things that we're doing. And we all know that we could always make ourselves better, right? 1% better. And then also though, part of that big responsibility we have that you mentioned is being a dad, and we speak into the lives of our kids. And that is a paramount thing to change culture, change society. Go America.
Yes. No, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's tough, man.
We've missed it. We've missed the mark. If we are honest, we've missed the mark on that.
The stats show that, just the family structure and that nuclear family style over the years is diminished.
Yes.
And we just see that the impact the father has on a lot of these social ills is so prevalent and relevant, and stats show that. And so you've seen the degradation of the family structure within the United States, and you just see the state of how things could be and are these days. And I think fatherhood and a strong family is a direct result of that. So we're on a mission to try to change that, and that's really what captured my heart. I attended DADCAMP just as an attendee. I took my son. I had a friend who's a pastor said, "Hey, I think you would love DADCAMP." He knows me, and he knows I want to be a good dad, and he knows my sons.
Yeah.
I'm like, sounds cool. All right, so let's just, here's an adventure. I like adventure.
Sure.
Let me just sign up for something that I don't know much about. But I heard from a guy I trust, right? I heard from him, I'd love it. So, all right.
So you're like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. And so just went that weekend, took my sons, and it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your first DADCAMP experience was amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And so I was bought in from that weekend on the mission behind it, kind of the intentionality behind it, kind of the whole programming structure. They've done it well. And so that captured my heart. And then, on one of the feedback forms at the end, it's like, hey, what can you got any feedback or can you help serve in any way? So I had just checked. I go on mission trips, around the world. I'd love to just join DADCAMP on one. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And so they actually called and said, hey, would you like to go to the Dominican? Because I'd been going to the Dominican to build some homes every year.
Yeah. Habitat?
No, it's through Homes of Hope.
Homes of Hope.
It's through YWAM, Youth with a Mission. It's one of their ministries, Homes of Hope. And so I've been going to the Dominican. I said, I'd love to join the Dominican. Well, then COVID happened. Our Dominican team couldn't go into the Dominican based on restrictions and travel and curfews and things like that, or group gatherings. And so they ended up saying, hey, Dominican team, do you want to, Guatemala's letting people in. Do you want to go to Guatemala and do some DADCAMPs in May? So May a couple years ago, just after COVID. And so, said, sure, sign me up. I'd love to just go to Guatemala with you guys. So went to Guatemala and served alongside some guys there and dads there and families there. It's just amazing. I love adventure. I love seeing the world, and I've been a lot of different places. Not really to vacation much. I thought about that, man. I haven't seen probably some of these cool vacation spots around the world.
Yeah,
and I'm certainly happy not to go see those, but to go serve others.
Well, the work that you're doing is worth way more than
it's been. I'm more blessed, and I love that. So but then kind of God just was working on my heart, and just another cool God moment of really, I'm sitting at my desk at Spry, my employer now. Yeah. But this was prior to me leaving Spry. I was there for almost 10 years, and I'm sitting at my desk. Yeah. And I just have this thought come over my head, and I don't even know why, but I just thought, am I going to be here at the end of the year? not like living on earth, but I'm sitting at my desk and I'm thinking, am I going to be here at the end of the year? I don't even know why I thought that. I wasn't looking for a new job. I'm doing well at my company. I'm a leader. I'm helping others.
Yeah.
You know, just the spot, I want to be and I think I'm gifted for.
Right.
And so I'm there, but then I have that thought. And not a second later,
yeah,
my phone, I get a text from the director of DADCAMP saying, hey, I just felt called to ask, would you ever consider joining the DADCAMP team?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, God, I see you working.
Yeah. So, that reminds me of this 7-hour walk.
Yes,
and then all of a sudden, boom.
The thought in my phone immediately. So, so I'm like, all right, God, if you're saying this, like, let me explore that.
Yeah.
And so kind of ventured through that conversation and feeling and over the next few months prior to that. And then, ended up having to kind of reach out and tell the owner of our company, the owner of Spry, he's a good friend. Hey, I'm going to be leaving Spry, and I'm going to go work for DADCAMP. I'm not trying to leave Spry. I'm not. My resume's not posted. I'm not trying to meet anybody.
Right.
I just felt God's calling me out.
Yep.
To go work for DADCAMP, and so wanted to be obedient to that. And so January of 2022, left Spry and started working for DADCAMP.
Yeah, and then now you're working. You kind of went through that process, and now kind of full circle back at Spry. Sure. What is Spry? Tell me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, Spry, what we would say
and what you do there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Our company itself, we're a brand optimization partner. We help companies kind of market and manage their brand, and we say with absolute efficiency. So we're trying to streamline operations, vendor consolidation, anything a company might use around their brand, whether it's a physical piece, a digital piece, anything that they're going to be doing that has their logo, their name on it, that can be touched or seen.
Yeah.
We can help streamline those operations from producing those pieces or delivering those pieces. And then what I get to do there, though, is I don't have much client interaction.
Right.
I have people interaction. I'm our chief people officer.
Right.
And
head of culture.
Yeah, head of culture and our people. And so I get to love on our people well is how I like to say it. So,
well, people, great organizations understand putting their people first. That's the true asset. That's the true innovation.
Yep.
That's the whole point of why we're here. It's not necessarily the product. The product's a byproduct of the people creating and actually executing on that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know why companies treat their people like trash.
Yeah, just a number.
Just a number,
robot.
And all of that. And then it's like you got this culture that's toxic,
and kudos,
like a cesspool of junk.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the point in that? Miserable people show up. They're terrible. Everybody's terrible, and they go home and do you think they're happy with their mission in life? And then they treat their kids and families like great. Is that? Yeah, it really doesn't make sense, does it?
No. So that's the beauty of Spry. So while we're helping businesses, I get to help my clients or my customers are all of our staff. And we're not a huge organization. We're about 75 staff right now. Certainly on a growth trajectory. And so we keep adding. We've probably doubled in staff over the last 2 years, really. And so it's just a perfect time and kudos to our owner, right? He knows he wants to care about his people and not be one of those owners that's like, I don't care who you are, chew you up, spit you out, produce. While he's growing a business and there's something to that,
right?
And he's using it and he wants to use it in a kingdom type of way,
kingdom-minded way.
And so he's like, hey, you're gifted at this. I see this in you as an individual that cares about others and can do that well. So would you join the team in that manner, in that fashion? And so I'd been our director of operations for kind of the first 5 years of my time there. But then as we started to grow, we knew there had to be a focus now on our people. We've grown, and this entrepreneurial spirit, it really pushed through some barriers, and along the way, now it's like, man, we can't forget about our people here.
Right.
And Derek, you're good at that.
Yeah.
Can you help lead that within the organization?
Yeah. He recognized that.
So I get to do that now, and that's just an amazing kind of
absolutely
area to be in.
And just I got to say this, in hearing about a company that is run that way by management makes business owners like myself and a whole bunch of other business owners goes, yeah, I want to work with them.
Sure.
Because that usually carries on and follows throughout the organization.
Yeah.
And it's ethical, moral, high character business practices.
You almost said half of our values.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did.
No, you really did. And so that's just but we're not doing that. Honestly, we're not doing that to draw clients.
Well, no, what you said actually is a kingdom-minded business that's bigger than itself and bigger than everybody there. And that can't just be said tongue in cheek. That's like, you got to live that out.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't care if you stay with Spry for 2 weeks, 2 months, 20 years. I want you, when you walk in the door, my heart behind what I get to do is when you walk in the door, I want you to, whenever you decide to leave Spry, whether, you're going to retire there or if it's a short tenure, I just want you to become a better person personally and professionally.
Right.
And when you stepped in, if we're not doing that, then what are we doing? Why aren't we investing in our God? The Bible's like, love God, right?
Right.
And I think we try to do that. I try to do that.
Yep.
But then love others. So that's loving people.
Yeah.
Those are the two greatest commandments.
That's right.
So if we're not doing that, then what are we really doing? So
that's right.
And then so what we do as a business, though, we feel like we get to help businesses.
Right.
They can have an impact. They get to make we're doing something good for other businesses where then they can go impact their communities. They can focus their time, attention, resources on their people as well. So we try to provide a service that's helping other businesses be well suited to make an impact. And
that's right. And it's reciprocal in that way, in a positive way, not a negative spiral or negative feedback loop. So it's like you can impact they have to go get those services somewhere.
Sure.
Because they got to do them for their business. Normal operating procedures. You got to go and do some things like marketing and stuff.
Yep.
Well, if you're out there and you're looking and you're like, well, which marketing firm am I going to work with? I would much rather, if I hear the story, hear some of this, I'd be like, I'm definitely going to give them a call and look at what is it that they're doing and why do I want to work with them? Because it's about a relationship.
Sure.
And so Indie Pod Lab did meet with some of the people over at Spry, and we're beginning our startup process and getting going. And so we have big ideas, big vision, and you can't go anywhere without setting goals and planning and stretch goals, like 10,000 for a beard. Now it's 50.
Yeah.
Dude, you started out by saying 1,000.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, that's what God does. I think if you put your faith, hope, and trust in him and you focus on him and you don't take your eyes off of him, like we all do. We're all guilty. We all sin. We all fall short. Sure. We all look away. We all do all kinds of things. But if we just continue to help each other out, love God, love others, and point each other back to Jesus, man, he changes everything. And we're able to make a better impact in our community and do ethical, solid, good business. And people find happiness and more than happiness, it's joy in their career path and their career decisions.
You bet. Yeah,
right?
I'm me personally, but just Spry as an organization or what, we're certainly excited for Indie Pod Labs and how.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
How it's going to take off and really become a blessing to probably so many others.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right. So we've covered some ground.
Yeah.
Okay. So now's the part where we talk about favorites.
Okay.
This is like the closing. I always like to ask, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite streaming, favorite, something that's going on right now? Is it an event, a concert? Are you going to Taylor Swift? Is that your favorite? I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah.
That's a joke. It's seriously, I don't see you doing that at all.
But maybe I would.
But I'm a girl dad, so someday,
you'll be there.
Because the other day I heard the girls saying singing some song, and it was a Taylor Swift song, and I'm like, where'd you guys hear that? Because on the radio or something, like in the car, and I forget what it was. I don't even know.
I wouldn't
song.
have any clue.
There's so I'm like a drastically different environment with the girl dad situation. So what's your favorite though? What's a favorite that you and Holly?
For streaming or music?
Streaming, music, food, is there restaurants, anything?
Yeah.
Other than the Bible and
sure.
loving God.
I try to be simple, right?
Yeah. Right.
Faith. So that's a big part.
Yeah,
family.
Family.
I come from a big family. I have 5 brothers. I wouldn't have had
5 brothers.
If I had a girl.
Oh, dude,
I'm lost.
That was me.
I admired guys that have girls because I wouldn't have known what to do. I'd still be lost, I think.
I looked at Nora. I remember looking at her going like, "Oh, we're having a girl," and I'm freaking out.
Yes.
And I'm like, man. I don't know how to be a girl dad.
There's literally
I don't know.
I counted it up before, and so I don't want to embellish, but I literally would say this because it's probably even expanded more.
Yeah.
There's 2. My nephew just had a baby 3 months ago. He's a Gillam.
Yeah.
He just had
Gillam.
a baby 3 months ago, and it was a daughter. That was the second. That's only the second girl Gillam born in the last. It used to be 80 some years. Now it's got to be over 100 years.
What?
There's only been 2 girls. Gillams born.
That's incredible.
All guys. All of my
brothers.
Man. All of my older brothers. Boys.
Jeez,
I have boys. And then now my oldest brother, his son, had a boy. And so
what do you eat? Like what?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Kidding.
That makes that
because the guy
so
dictates,
I don't know what it is.
My brother, 4 girls.
Ah, wow.
Brent, 2 girls. I got 1 son though. He's in heaven.
Sure.
Okay, but I'm sitting here looking at my brother, and I were like, well,
I don't know.
Hey, what do we do? And here's what my brother. This is my brother and I's conversation via text and Teams and stuff as well. I guess we got to be the guys that are cleaning our guns when these girls get married, and then and those dudes that are gonna marry our girls, we're gonna be fathers, like adopted fathers to them.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then we were talking, having some bourbon and stuff, and saying, well, maybe they'll all just have boys.
Yeah.
And then we'll be like super grandpas.
That's awesome. Getting the boys. Yeah.
Getting the boys in that next generation, So that was our hope. Go ahead.
No, good. I was just going to say my youngest brother now, they're pregnant. Right.
Right.
I had the honor.
You could say that, right? You can say that on the thing.
Yes.
Okay.
They're pregnant.
To edit that out.
Sometimes I say he's pregnant, and people I know get that, but now I think people hear that these days could be confused.
They could. They would be really like, really.
Yeah. They're pregnant, and so if I say he's pregnant, but it's his wife is of course carrying the baby, and they don't know what it's going to be. Okay. They don't know what it's going to be.
They don't know. Well, are they going to find out beforehand?
No, they're not.
No.
They're not. They're going to wait.
So is there going to be a big prank like, oh, it's a girl?
And then due on March 1st.
Oh, okay.
And guess what?
What?
Next year is leap year, so
could be
February 29th.
Ooh, that would be crazy, man.
That's a cool, unique thing.
It would.
About.
I hope it happens. So. Well, I hope health is what happens.
Of course,
health, number one.
So far it's so good. We're actually gonna. My birthday's next week.
Yeah.
And tonight we're going to dinner with my brother and his wife, and we're gonna go do an escape room. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a favorite.
That could be. You've never done it?
I've done a lot of them.
Oh, you have. Okay. Yeah.
I love them.
So favorites are faith, family, friends, and baseball.
Baseball, Braves, Atlanta Braves.
The Braves, man.
Yes, and not because they're good this year or last year or the year before, but
because they were good in the 90s, and Turner, Warner, whatever, had them on TV all the time. Ted Turner had them on
TBS.
TV, yeah.
You could watch them on TBS
anywhere in the
night.
nation.
Yes.
Which was insane to watch that Atlanta franchise from the 90s, which was insanely good. Dean Hartgraves was from my hometown. He pitched in the 97 World Series with them. His locker was between Greg Maddux and John Smoltz.
I wish.
And here's a funny story that Dean shared with us in high school, because he went to our high school. He said one time when he was a rookie or whatever, and he was on like rookie on the Atlanta squad. He made the starting line, all this stuff. There was a time these guys play pranks on each other all the time, and it's known. Like they have a history. They're like one of the best pranksters to each other.
Yeah.
Well, they took all his luggage. So he had to, and then the only thing they allowed him to wear, because that's all he had to wear, otherwise he'd be naked, They said you got to take off your clothes. You got to wear women's clothes through the airport.
Oh, wow.
And they walked in high heels through the air. They made them do that.
That's good.
And I was like, what?
That's good.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that these days. Well, I guess you could.
He might have just done it himself these days. Yeah, that's good. So I mean, love pranks.
Yeah.
I love pranks, and as long as you're not hurting somebody physically.
Yeah, or
then,
or at the expense of someone else, like hurting them that way. But good, honest fun.
Good humor. Yeah.
Yeah.
This week at work, I had a friend at work. I walk back into my office, and I just hear this cricket chirping. I don't even know a cricket.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I'm like, where is this cricket at?
Yeah.
And he had actually stood on my desk, put a fake cricket chirping up in my ceiling tile.
Are you? That's money.
So
that's so good.
I love good pranks. So
that was
one that came.
Okay, so that's
desk.
a favorite.
Yeah,
that's good to know. Now I know I can prank Derek. I can really prank.
But I'll get you back
because I like pranks too.
I'll get you back.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Pranks and scaring people. I like to scare people.
April Fool's Day is a favorite day in my life. And so I just told somebody that, are you serious? Like April Fool's Day is not now. It's like in 6 months. So, but April Fool's Day is always big. One of the fun ones we've done recently is we put my buddy's Honda Civic. It was, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago when Craigslist was really kind of a fully function. Now it's probably Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
We could do the same thing almost, but
we
put it on Craigslist, his Honda Civic, for $500 and put his phone number there. And within an hour, he probably had 200 phone calls. We put it like so cheap. It's this great model, so cheap. And he actually, he's the owner of Spry. He's in these business meetings and his phone's just blowing up. He comes out of his office. Why are people calling me about my Honda Civic? Who did it? Oh, and it was so good. It was so he ended up kind of turning off his phone. He changed his voicemail to say, if you're calling about the Honda Civic, it's not for sale. This guy has one and he thought it was a friend named Cliff.
Yeah.
And he gave Cliff's number.
Oh, shoot.
And so people started calling. But it wasn't Cliff. It was us. It was so good. Yeah. It was good. It was a good one. So if you're ever trying to prank somebody, put their car on an auction website.
On Facebook Market. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Really cheap and it was fun.
Oh. What? I could drive by your house and put a for sale sign on your car.
My neighbor did that. Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did. Yeah, my neighbor did that. The postman rolls up. I don't even know what's on my car.
Yeah.
I had a Chevy. I have a Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah.
And so the postman rolls up, puts the mail in the mailbox, and he goes, "How much you asking for your Tahoe?" Like, what are you talking about? He goes, "Yeah." And so I turned around and I looked, and there's a for sale sign on my Tahoe. He goes, "I'll pay you $1,000 just for the engine." I'm like. And I knew exactly who it was. Our neighbor.
It was your neighbor.
Yeah, I knew exactly who it was.
Awesome.
So I told him I'm going to put a for sale sign in his front yard.
I'm
dude, list his house.
Dude,
somewhere.
He'd be getting all cash offers. Like, no,
I'm going to get him,
dude. Get him. That's a great idea. Great idea.
And he's, the sports. I love IU, and he's from Kentucky. He went to UK, so he, there's some sort of rivalry there. So
yeah, Eric's doing thumbs down on that. Yeah,
good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my favorites, Roll Tide. We got Bama. Yes. Got Bama in the house over here.
Wow.
And good. Yeah. I'm let's see. So the Chosen series is something that I love. I talk about. Nora and I really love that. But other favorites that I've got, I love the Oakland A's.
Okay.
Don't judge.
No.
Oakland A's, man.
Matt Olson, he's a Brave, but he came from the A's.
Yeah, so. and I'll always call them the Oakland A's, like not the Las Vegas A's. Like
that's
LV.
Right.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be like Oakland.
Are they moving already, or
it's going to be
they're building now?
They're building now.
Yeah.
It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing, cool, but the A's are like the team. Now, my brother's a Giants fan, and that's like Cain and Abel, man.
You can't,
dude, you cannot.
Yep.
Battle of the Bay, you cannot ever
Chicago, White Sox and Cubs.
Yeah, and so when I was in college San Mateo, my first year, my roommate and I would drive across the bay and watch the Billy Bean A's play because it was that era. I was there in 2000.
Oh, wow.
So it was like that 99, 2000 era, and we were at those games. And I'll never forget being there like opening day against the Yankees at Network Associates Coliseum. There's like packed out, not a place to stand, 60,000 people.
Wow.
And Andy Pettit on the mound. And we snuck down to be right at the third base, and we're in the mix. And, I wasn't a Christian then. We were doing stuff we shouldn't have been and all that, but it was a lot of fun. And then San Francisco 49ers. I love the Niners. So I love the A's, the Niners, and always will. I'm out here in the Midwest, so it's really fun to really talk about the West Coast teams, and there's bias to West Coast and all that stuff.
Growing up, they were my team on Super Tecmo Bowl on the Nintendo.
Oh yeah, was the
49ers.
49ers. I mean, you had
Joe Montana,
Jerry Rice.
You could stand in one end zone.
I know.
And throw it 100 yards to the other end zone.
How is that possible?
And Jerry Rice, he would catch it.
The developers were geniuses. I love them. Whoever created it in Silicon Valley, we're going to create some built-in bias here. So I love baseball, football, and basketball, and Caitlin Clark she's insane.
Yeah.
I say that because I got to rep the girl ball, right? Sure. And that she's the greatest player I've ever seen in women's basketball. I mean, just insane.
Yeah. 44 last night.
Yeah. How do you do that?
She's amazing.
Yeah. And Messi in soccer is insane too, like that. So I just love sports. So I'm trying to catch up on that in between things and try to stay up where I put my head down during COVID and didn't pay attention much. Yeah. And I came out of that, and I'm finding a love for it as I'm coaching some soccer, and the girls are starting to get into basketball and all of that type of stuff. So I just love being a dad and really getting into some things that, that I actually like to do and be active. And so, so that's my favorite. And then I do like watching Yellowstone, even though it's not necessarily.
I figure anything that I can kind of tune into, I could probably learn something or find some. So I bet some of that kind of is the realistic picture of what occurred there, right?
Yeah.
That tension there of the land, and kind of, hey, everybody sees this land now and wants a piece of it, and that cowboy rancher mentality is certainly a different one than what you might get in the Midwest or from a big city. So,
and that's what built America, the red, white, and blue here, right? It's not a perfect nation, but it is a good one.
Sure.
And it's the best one around as far as freedom.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can all collectively work together and go that direction, but also go north, right? To Jesus.
True freedom's found there for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So to wrap up, I heard your favorites. It's all good. You heard some of mine. I just really appreciate the time, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. You're just, man, I just love seeing you and what you're doing and getting to know you over this time where we've run across our paths with crossed has certainly been a joy. And I don't know if I certainly probably don't tell you enough. I don't tell my wife probably enough either. So it's probably a flaw that I need, but just to build you up and encourage you is, man, way to be just a great dad, way to be a great leader, way to be a great just human. When I hear your heart and how you're interacting and what you're doing, just well done. Kudos, man. So great job. Keep it up.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, I will. I'll just keep doing my best. Head down, working hard. Man,
you're doing great.
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, you said something. Well, when you said, am I going to be here at the end of the year?
Sure.
So something that goes on my mind quite a bit is how do we live our lives? I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So I'm going to do everything that I can, and do that the best of my ability, and try to stay focused on the main thing, especially now that I've learned some major valuable lessons. I've gone through a lot of hard stuff. So to hear that is the ultimate compliment. So, and it's humbling, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And I hope that other guys see that and can keep doing it too, just like you are. And you encourage me the same way you're encouraging me back. Like I'm encouraging you, and vice versa. So it's just a beautiful thing, man. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being on Foster and Friends.
I'm glad I'm a friend.
Dude, you are. And you know what you're going to get? I always give my guests something, and
hopefully it's Braves season tickets.
It is not. It is
the next best thing. Okay.
No, dude, I did not expect that. Right. That was funny because it's like, well, that would be sweet if I could do that. So give me money, I'll just give season tickets to people, and that'd be great.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
Hey, man. But I think you like to grill.
I do.
You do.
I do.
And do you like St. Elmo's seasoning?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so there's a kit. Of a whole bunch of great seasonings and stuff that St. Elmo's is local, right?
Man, it's so good.
Yeah, great steakhouse. If you've never been there, it's an old one. It's downtown. Excellent. And they've got a kit of all kinds of seasonings and stuff that I'm going to get you. And it's going to be, I already have, it's in my checkout.
Okay.
I just need to ship it to you. So that's what you get. I don't have it with me.
Okay.
But I am plugging them because check them out. Hopefully,
it's so good. Let me just plug the shrimp cocktail too. That's
please.
My favorite.
It's world famous.
Anybody that has never been there, what you have to do is order the shrimp cocktail, take a piece of shrimp, get as much, use it as an ice cream scoop almost. Get as much of that horseradish sauce.
It's
and then just
so good.
Just take the full bite, and your life will never be the same.
It's like that moment you get a call. Like it's so good.
It's something you will never forget.
It is.
If you just try to dab, like stick your pinky toe in there. That's just not living on the edge a little bit. So just take as much as you can, pop that in there, and you're good.
And then just let it marinate on your tongue. And in your mouth.
Yeah,
it's amazing, dude. It's awesome. Right. So St. Elmo's coming your way.
Awesome.
All right, dude. Well, again, thank you.
You're
welcome. That concludes the show, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Come over for steak sometime.
We will. Yeah, I will.
Right, good.
Cook for me.
All right,
ribeye, medium.
Got it. Okay.
Medium.
I can do that.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, Brent.